there's a number of texts we use in Ayurvedic Living Course 2. You need to have one of the texts from Living Course 1, the textbook of Ayurveda by Dr. Ladd, as this will be one of our reference books. You'll also need to get his second book, the textbook 2, which is more of a clinical guide, more of a diagnostic assessment tool. And in this book, it's very dense, just like the textbook 1 is very dense, so we'll actually be cross-referencing back and forth to go over concepts in a much deeper level from textbook 1, but also seeing how we can integrate them in terms of what's showing up in the body, how to clinically assess the body and mind with that textbook 2. Also by Dr. Ladd, what we'll be using is his Ayurvedic perspectives on selected pathologies, which is really a very in-depth way of looking at a few specific diseases that are very common in our society, and just really looking at how they're arising, how they look different as per the different constitutions, what the recommended therapies are, what the recommended herbs are. And what my whole approach with this is to actually, the more we can actually understand why the disease is arising in a specific person, that's intrinsically going to give us the gateway to healing. So in the text, we'll use them as reference points more to understand why. We also will use, again, by Dr. Ladd, he's written the most in English and for Westerners, so we'll use a lot of his textbooks. He wrote The Yoga of Herbs with Dr. Frawley, and we'll start to learn in this course how to make herbal medicines particular to ourselves in the seasons, but also for other people. And we'll look in a way just to understand really the energetics of plants more particularly, and how to combine certain plants for certain effects. And then another real core text of this course is the Ayurvedic Tongue Diagnosis by Casera, by Walter Casera, who's really just written this phenomenal book about understanding your whole body from your tongue. And he's also a really big fan, as am I, of the work of Dr. Gabriel Cousens and Living Foods as applied to Ayurveda. So in Ayurvedic Living Course 2, we do a lot more work with moving into a higher pranic vibrational experience through foods and through daily practices. So we'll actually be using, with Walter Casera's book, we'll also be cross-referencing that with some of the work of Dr. Gabriel Cousens in terms of how Ayurveda and raw foods, how those two things cross-pollinate, and what really the future of a yogic diet looks like, and how that's actually quite different than some of the yogic diets of the past that were a little bit more entrenched in just typical Indian foods and typical Indian diets that in some ways we're seeing now aren't actually the most effective, highest vibrational diet for the future of evolving ecstatic health.